What's up? So you have a product or service that you know can help people, but you're having a hard time reaching those people. And so with that, I asked, do you truly know the psychology of the person your business is meant to help? Marketing is less about what you're selling and a lot more about who you're selling to. Hi y'all, my name is CM Williams, video marketing strategist and digital marketing consultant. And today we're going to talk about your customer avatar, your buyer avatar, your ICA. There's many ways to say it. Your ICA is your ideal customer avatar or ideal client avatar. In case you've done research, you run into ICA and went, and what? Well, there you go. That's what ICA stands for. Stick around to the end and I'll also give you some bonus advice as far as avatars go. A lot of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, they struggle with what they want their social media channel, their podcast, what have you to be. And that's typically because they're not sure who they're making content for. And so having your buyer avatar, your customer avatar prevents you from being stuck. Because now you know precisely who you're making that content for, and you know what they want to see and what they resonate with. Now what this isn't is like a general demographic, because that doesn't go into detail enough. What your avatar is like literally this detailed summary of your dream customer. A lot of business owners tend to cast a pretty wide net. They put their offer out and they believe it's so good that people will just find it. Don't do that. Be a little more specific. If you're afraid that being too specific is going to hinder your marketing efforts, if targeting less people but more focus are going to hinder your targeting efforts, I just want you to know that the world is big enough for every niche to make it. There's people out there making a living on doing mermaid swim lessons. You're fine. Again, this isn't some generic just demographic. Like, you just can't target to 25 to 30-year-old black dudes because we all have different problems. Aside from like the cops thing, but that's a different video for a different channel. Different things keep us up at night and we need different solutions for different problems. Like, this gets so specific that your avatar or avatars will even have a name. My avatar's name is Jesse. And it's gender fluid, so you can't come at me. So yes, it's fun to post your selfies, it's fun to post cool reels, but who's seeing them? Who are you making them for? If you're not getting much engagement with your post, it's possible it can stem from the fact that you're not really making content for one specific niche audience. This is a deep dive into the psychology of who your product or service is meant for. It is actually a really fun activity to do. So here's what we're going to cover in this video. The importance of having a customer avatar, which I've already covered some, and if you already know because you've been doing research, just skip to whatever time I have right here on the video. We're going to cover the questions that need to be answered, and many of these questions are really going to let you know what your customers' real struggles and pain points are. And you won't have to write down these questions. So in the description, I have a free guide that you can use that I have the very same questions we covered that you can use to make your own customer avatar. And then lastly, we're going to cover how to go about answering those questions that we'll go over. After you go through this process, you'll know exactly who you're talking to, which means you'll know exactly how to get their attention. So let's get started. So just to kind of drill in how important this is before I get into all that is one of my clients right now is a cool sculpting provider. And the majority of the people that buy that service are older white women. Look at me, I am not an older white woman. So research was mandatory. So with that research, I learned that, a lot of their customers kind of have these few things in common, like women who were once bosses at their job and they left that job to be a house mom, but now they're going through a divorce, they're going to empty nest soon, and now they want to do something for them. Again, I did not just pull that out of my This is me using her Google Insights, her analytics, her Instagram, all her social media insights to kind of dig into who her customer is, and we're going to go over that. So first and foremost on, how important this is any successful business, your business is going to spend a good chunk of change on ad spend. And it'd be nice to know that the people seeing your marketing efforts actually, at the very least, have some interest in the solution you're offering. Or it has in general, has the problem that your business solves. And if you haven't done much on creating your custom avatar, you'll kind of see that, you'll go to your insights and notice that a lot of people engaging with your post are people like you, which is cool if your business serves you, but that may not always be the case. Your vibe attracts your tribe on social media. And so again, you really want to be making content that resonates with the exact audience that your business is meant to help. I'm a broken record at this point, but it's real. You want to get engagement from people who will potentially pay you to solve their problem. My page, for example, which is by no means perfect yet, I'm still trying to kind of shape the tribe on there, but it's kind of a mix of marketing tips, funny reels that are in relation with my profession. And then I post my workspace for aesthetic, because a lot of entrepreneurs work from home, a lot of entrepreneurs like desk inspiration, and it also kind of draws in the PC enthusiasts and the gamers, and there's a lot more PC enthusiasts and gamer entrepreneurs than you would think. So throwing my setup in there, putting my face in there, putting my voice on the page are great ways for me to kind of splash my personality onto my page. Because quick tip, gone are the days where people want this formal robotic voice. People want to see you behind your work, behind your business. They want to see a person that's driving this business. People are tired of being spoken to like robots. They want to have a conversation with you, converse with your audience. All right, let's keep going before I ramble. So all that to say that your customer avatar is the embodiment of your online tribe. And here's a few things it'll tell you. Customer avatars are going to tell you where they hang out, what they read, who they listen to. That's really big for affiliate marketing, so pay attention. It'll tell you the best social media platform for you to spend money on your ads, and that's an increase in ROI. And it's gonna tell you what interest to target. A lot of people tend to run ads, and the interest they'll target revolves around their product or service. What I mean by that is, if you're a landscaping company and you're running an ad, you may not necessarily want to target someone who has an interest in landscaping. That may not be the case. I'll even go as far as to say, don't just target people that own a house. That's too broad. Think about why they're really hiring you. Think about why they would be seeking a lawn care company. Maybe they're just busy, they travel for work, they have a few kids. That's when you start thinking about targeting people that fly frequently. Maybe target people with an interest in noise canceling headphones. Target people who have kids, in athletics especially. They're never home, which means they don't really have the time to spare to keep their grass cut. You see what I'm doing? With all that said, you don't have to, your avatar doesn't have to be set in stone. Just like you evolve as time moves, your business is gonna evolve as time moves. And your avatar is also meant to just kind of give you a foundation. Once you start targeting people with what you find out about your customer avatar, you can start checking your insights and see which of those interests are actually sticking, and then start retargeting people with those interests that actually engage with your post. And if you already have a business that's been running and you've made sales, if customers have already bought your big ticket item, bring those customers in and create your buyer avatar based on people that have already bought your service or your product. You have a leg up in the game if you made a few sales already. But again, if you're a new business, this is just a start. Your avatar is gonna evolve just as you will. You're gonna see in your analytics which of those targeted interests do well and which ones don't. So now let's talk about some questions that you can answer that'll help you fabricate your buyer avatar. All right, so the first set of questions you're gonna wanna answer do have to do with your customer's demographics. That's gonna be your gender, age, location, their income. You have to know if your customer can afford you in the first place, right? You wanna know what type of businesses your customers are in. You wanna know what their hobbies and interests are. And you wanna know what social media platform you think your customer might. Next, you want to get into your buyer avatar's personality. You want to know what they like, what they dislike. Are they more of a right brain creative person or that left brain logistics scientific person? Are they detail oriented or are they a dreamer? Does this person like doing their own research on a product or service, or would they rather be guided? Do you want to get into the education? And when I say education, I mean education of your product or your service. Well, have they heard of your brand before? How informed are they about your product or service? Are they even aware of the problem that you solve? Do they currently use a competitor? Do they use anybody at all? How much would this person even know about your industry in the first place? Also, you even want to get into if this person's tech savvy. Where does this person get their information? Are they reading online? Are they reading certain publications, certain books? Pretty much, how does this person digest the information they research? Next, you want to get into this person's psyche. What do they believe? What are their objectives and their goals? Do they want to achieve? What are their problems? What are their pain points? And when I say what do they believe, I don't mean like do they believe in God. What do they believe about your product or service? What is their perceived sort of view on your product or service or your industry? Because what this does is help you know what questions to answer when you run ads, when you post. And that leads us into their fears. Again, what do those perceptions of your industry, what are the risks to them using your product or your service? And lastly, I like to get into this person's buying behavior. What do they usually buy? Where do they buy from? Where do they research products? Are they the one making the buying decision? So what role do they play in the decision? A toy maker, while they market to children, they don't have the buying power the adult does. So what about what you're posting is gonna also appeal to them? And you wanna know what influences them to make those purchases. What's the trigger that gets them to actually add to cart and go through the buying process? Where would this person be without your product or service? And what are the roadblocks keeping them from buying your product or service if they are kind of having some hesitation about it? Without giving you too much of an earful, I am going to read you a bit of what I have written on Cast Med Spas, my client's client avatar. I have it on my phone here, I'm going to read it. So I've named Cast Med Spa's main client avatar Cheryl. Cheryl is a 44-year-old mother of 2 school-aged children who are student athletes. One is a middle schooler, the other is soon to leave for college. She's recently divorced, and her children visit her father every other weekend. She lives in a 4-bedroom home in the North Atlanta suburb. Currently works as a PR fundraising manager for a nonprofit, following years of being a stay-at-home mom, and before having her second child, she was a writer and editor who was eventually promoted to a PR manager. She is still going through a bit of mental adjustment of being separated from her ex-husband and currently dabbles into online dating apps. Before COVID, she'd make it a point to grab a friend or two and do something most weekends. She's open to having conversations with men when they go out. She expresses concerns about men not wanting to date a single mother. Internally, she believes she can cover ground by being an absolute catch. She, like a lot of other people, deal with stubborn problem areas on their body and has concerns about aging. So while she does work out a bit with her gym membership, she isn't a fitness nut, but she tries. She's even given keto a try. With the awareness that in time her home will have a lot of space, she sometimes thinks ahead and is torn between downsizing her home or using the space she will have as a canvas to replicate her dream home. So she does watch quite a bit of home and garden television, HGTV, and related online content during her downtime. And so, like I said, I'm not gonna kill you with the whole thing, but with that story that we put together, answering the same exact questions I gave you, you probably can't see it, but that I gave you, these are the interests we'll be targeting as kind of our first go round of Facebook, Instagram, what have you, ads that we'll run for Cast Med Spa. We're gonna target weight loss, fitness, gym memberships, online dating, dating in general, fad diets, keto, home and garden, mothering, raising teens, wife, widow, divorced, single, Gen X, sinking new car, seeking new home renovation, and recipes. We'll also be marketing on Pinterest some. And again, this isn't a big assumption I made about her customer. I got all this from going through her Google reviews, her Google Insights, her Facebook reviews and insights, her Instagram insights. I went through all of her social channels, everywhere where she posts anything. I looked at where kind of the common ground was for her clients. So again, if you're an existing business, kind of take the customers and the reviews you already have and start with them. If you're new, you can kind of make an assumption about who your business is meant to help and go from there. I'd even go as far as speaking to a few different types of people, types of friends about your product and kind of get their perception of it, see where it can be useful with them, and kind of start from there when making your avatar. But kind of how I went about making her avatar is, again, I checked her insights, and your insights are going to have your demographics, your age, your race, all that, depending on where you're getting your insights from. With that, now we'll get into how you answer these questions. One fun thing I did, so if you didn't know, every time someone leaves a review, you leave a review on Google, you can click that person's name and see where they left a review, like ever, at any point. So I was able to go to Cast Med Spa's customers, click on people that left reviews, and I got to see where they left reviews, where they hang out. And then when I saw where they hang out, I could see what they liked and didn't like about where they were, kind of their perception of where they were. I went to Reddit forums. I went on Reddit and I read through women having discussions about dating, being a single mom. I read through people talking about their weight, their problem areas. I went to Facebook groups that had her type of audience in it, and I looked at what they discussed, where their pain points were. So again, I didn't pull all this stuff out of nowhere. I poked into where these people hang out online, and I just looked at what they were talking about and kind of made that to kind of shape my story. Like, go as deep as you want and really become this private investigator-esque person when making your customer avatar to get these questions answered. Find out a company's demographic and bring those type of people in to just interview them. And if you get a nice sort of sample size of people, you can really pull together where the common areas are with that type of person. I haven't done myself yet. I have filmed some before, but I haven't facilitated one myself, is to interview people in person. Get you a nice sample size, almost like a focus group, and talk to those people about your product or service, or your client's product or service. There are many ways to dig up this info, and I'm just saying all this to say, get it from wherever you can. I'm not here to say go to X website and it's all there, but you do have to do the research. And again, it can really be fun to dig into the perspective of a totally different person. Like, real talk, this was fun for me. I learned some things that I just wasn't aware of in the world. Maybe if enough people made client avatars, we don't understand each other, but that's another video too. And again, go in the description below, and that'll be where you can find the form you can download. Go through all these questions while you do it yourself and do your own research to make your customer avatar. So now let's talk about that bonus information. So we just spent all this time discussing your buyer avatar, but I'm also going to encourage you to create a marketing avatar. And your marketing avatar may not necessarily be a person. Your marketing avatar is pretty much you putting together who your buyer avatar listens to, which is big for affiliate marketing. People who will advocate your brand to your buyer avatar and basically advertise for you. And this is why you see sort of a spike in affiliate programs. You see a spike in people and companies giving out a coupon code that's unique to that person that they can use to make a percentage commission from that purchase. But companies are giving out these coupon codes to people who are communicating with your buyer avatar. You can't know who your marketing avatar is until you figure your buyer avatar out. When you're making your marketing avatar, really keep in mind the brands and communities and channels that your buyer avatar is engaging with. It's where you can make a special sort of landing page or message or ad just for that person. That's going to be a whole nother video, so subscribe below, hit that bell. This is going to be your channel for digital marketing. So, do you have an avatar? Was this helpful? Comment below, let me know. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for viewing. If you're a return viewer, big thank you. And after you make your customer avatar, drop a comment on your avatar below. Tell me about your avatar and I'll feature it in a future video. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about a pretty scary thing that's happening in the digital marketing world. Privacy is stepping up. Facebook's already in trouble because of iOS 14. And now here comes Google taking away the cookies. So how are we going to address this? Until next time.